another episode of
The Horror Guys!
Yay!
I'm Kevin.
I'm Brad.
And we're going to talk about some horror movies that we saw this last week.
We are.
5 movies.
5 movies.
No shorts this week. Things came up.
Things came up.
But
yes.
5 movies.
Yep. Some good ones, some stinkers, and some middlers.
Yeah. And
On a scale of 1 to 5, we got one of each. I think.
I think we have one of each. Yeah, I could probably rate these easily 1 through 5.
Yeah, we've got 2 new releases this
preference.
week with some fun catching up films.
Yeah.
Going to start off with...
Survival of the Dead.
No, we're not going to start off with that.
We're not?
Why would we start off with that? It was a stinker.
Well,
We're going to start off with the underground tunnel chase, Scurry.
Oh, are we? Okay.
Then we'll go out to the retro desert in Brute, 1976.
Retro.
You know it's retro because it's right there in the
Because
name.
it's right there in the title. Yeah.
Then we're going to get a little goofy with Lavalantula.
A creature feature.
Can't even say that hardly.
It is hard to say. Lavalantula.
And then we'll watch a couple of the final 2 George Romero zombie movies. Diary of the Dead, not Dairy of the Dead, and Survival of the Dead.
Now, Dairy of the Dead, there was probably some Dairy of the Dead's going on.
Zombie cows.
Yeah,
that'd
I mean,
be cool.
they didn't make it into a movie, but I bet that was a thing.
Last week with In Vitro, we were expecting mutant cows. They didn't get mutant cows there either. There's no zombie cows in that. Where is my zombie cow movie?
Where are my zombie cows? Yeah. We need more zombie cows.
Moo brains.
Brains.
But first, 2025's Scurry. Directed by Luke Sparke, written by Tom Evans, stars Jamie Costa, Emalia, and Peter O'Hanlon. Hour and 30 minutes. Trailer on YouTube.
Poor woman, she can't afford a last name.
No.
But she's a decent actress.
Yeah, she was fine.
I thought she was quite good in the role.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spoiler free.
It's a claustrophobic,
Claustrophobic, yes.
Claustrophobic view. There's a big disaster event, but it has us following a couple of survivors as they work their way out of an underground obstacle course of collapsed buildings and streets. And is there more going on than just a local earthquake or something? I mean, just how bad could it be? Can't be that bad, can it? Well,
I think we know right from the beginning that it is.
We travel along with them to find out. And there are some hints given in the opening seconds.
Yes.
Yeah. Pay attention to that opening scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we see some kind of apocalyptic disaster happening from our skyrise window. There are alarms sounding. People are running and screaming. Then we hear growling noises from down the hall, and one running woman dies in a wet splatter against the wall. Maybe we aren't at the top of the food chain after all. We fly over the city. We see a big blackened pit that is surrounded by burnt-out emergency vehicles. And then the camera pans down to a dead man laying there. Oh, no, yeah, he's not dead.
Not quite. I'm feeling much better.
He wakes up. He's trapped under a chunk of rubble. He pulls out his cell phone, but can't get through to anyone. He finally thinks to use his phone as a flashlight and looks around. He finally gets through to his wife's voicemail and explains what happened from his point of view. There was an earthquake and he fell through a sinkhole.
Mm-hmm.
But he finally gets himself free from the rocks. He then hears a chopper flying over, which is hopeful, because he can see it right there up through the hole. But then it crashes right next to the hole he's in.
Well, that's disappointing.
An earthquake wouldn't do that.
No.
The hole then collapses behind him, trapping the man inside an underground tunnel. He pulls out a piece of glass that has impaled him, but he's not bleeding too badly.
Not bad. Yeah.
Takes a while for Mark to get his bearings, and he hears rocks falling all over the place. He finds a woman's purse and digs through it for anything useful. He finds a video camera with an infrared feature, which is going to be useful.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he gets a jump scare when the woman who owns the purse shows up. She's Sarah. There's been a rock slide or something, and she soon vanishes. No, she's hiding. Shh, they'll hear us, she whispers.
They who?
He sets her dislocated bone, but she says everyone up above is dead. No one is going to be coming for them. She's very paranoid that he's going to leave her alone. They talk about their kids, but she seems to know a lot more about what's going on upstairs than he does. Yeah, it turns out she's not really Sarah. That was a stolen purse. Then she pulls a gun on him. And then things get complicated.
Should we leave it there?
We should.
So they journey together, have a marvelous quest, good times.
No, it's
No?
pretty uncomfortable
No,
and nasty.
not so much, yeah.
Yeah, this is one very dark movie. Make sure you watch this one at night in a dark room or you're likely to miss something.
And we were actually separate watching this simultaneously in different locations, and my location was dark. And
you saw it just fine?
It helped. Yeah.
Okay.
So at least a dark room, dim room, that helps a lot.
The first 10 minutes, I had a really hard time telling what was going on.
Yeah, I could see it fine.
Okay. That said, with it being so dark, they didn't have to show so much of the creatures. Eventually, we get to see them pretty good, but there's just a lot of hints in the beginning.
Well, see, I kind of liked that element because we're in the same boat that they are. We only hear the creatures.
Yes.
There's something chasing us, and we don't see it.
Yeah.
I thought that added to the creepiness.
I think there's a lot of parallels here with the Descent movie from 2005.
Yeah, somewhat.
But I think the characters in the tunnels here aren't as interesting. It's just one long tunnel like a sewer that they're crawling through. There's not that many rooms or twists and turns. They're going the only way they can. It's not like they're making choices.
Most of the time they don't, yeah.
And there's only the two characters.
There are a few times they have to, but yeah.
Yeah. We do get to know more about them as they go along, but the whole film is basically just the two characters in a narrow tunnel.
Oh, they do find another guy at one point.
Briefly, yes.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But it takes a lot to make that interesting. It was a good concept. I thought it was a little too slow moving. At one point toward the end, I was yelling at Mark on the screen. He just laid there and talked to Katie's corpse for what seemed like, 30, 40, 90 minutes.
Well, see, and here's where we diverge in our reviews, too. I had internet failure where I was watching it, and I couldn't see the end because we had a limited number of views on the screener. I haven't seen the ending. And it's not officially released yet. When it is, I will be seeing it.
Well, there's two of them crawling through what is a very much more narrow tunnel, and the person in front dies. Now, it's very clear from my point of view, with the camera where the camera is, he could just crawl right over her body and keep moving.
Okay.
I assume we're supposed to assume that it was plugged solid and he couldn't get through because of what happens next. I'm not going to spoil it much more than that.
Okay.
It was very poorly filmed, though, because there is plenty of room he could have got through.
Okay.
Okay, well, anyway, the creatures look really good once we do get to see them, and the ending was bleak enough to satisfy me.
Okay.
Overall, I thought it was entertaining, but there are some issues with characters making some really dumb decisions.
Yeah, here and there. Well, that sounds like more at the end, too. But I really enjoyed it, what I saw of it.
Okay.
I missed like the last 15 minutes or so, I think it was.
You specifically called out the underwater portion.
Yeah. There's a portion where they have to travel underwater, and I thought that was especially creepy.
Is your flashlight waterproof? So she dips it in the water and find out.
Not what you want to. That's not what you want to hear somebody ask. Like, why? Why are you asking if my flashlight is waterproof? No, I don't want to go through the underwater tunnel.
Okay, so our 1 to 5 this week, the way we just sort of said we're going to do it, I'm going to call this the number 3.
Okay, I'm putting
it's
this
my middle.
I think I'm putting this at my number 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Brute, 1976. Comes out in 2025. Directed by Marcel Walz. Written by Joe Netter. Stars Adrian McLean, Sarah French, and Gigi Gustin. Hour and 45 minutes. Trailer in the show notes. And this is my number 1 for the week.
Okay.
I like this one.
This is actually my number 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, spoiler free, it's another killer family and a group of victims who are in the wrong place at the wrong time. They captured the retro look and feel of this one very well, I thought.
Yeah, they did.
The acting is good with well-defined characters, and the special effects were very realistic. Wasn't anything particularly original, but it's all well put together and entertaining.
Yeah, it kind of felt like all through it, like I'm so entertained, and yet I've seen this before.
It's the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Or The Hills Have Eyes.
Yeah.
Or, that kind of thing, yeah.
Which were both 70s movies.
Which were both good.
Yeah.
And this is good. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what happens?
Well, we're on August 19th, 1976, in the desert, and we zoom down to 2 girls who are broken down on the highway. The road is completely deserted, all deserty, so hitchhiking probably isn't going to happen. There has to be something off this road, as June and Raquel begin walking. Now, they do eventually come to an old abandoned mine and go inside to cool off. And it's kind of set up like a tourist attraction, like a historical site. Mm-hmm. And they're trying to recreate it to draw in the tourists. Well, there's already lights on in the mine, and they stop for some kissing. Oh, they are good friends. And they hear something and get spooked. And then a man with an axe shows up, and the screaming starts. They're very much not alone in this cave. Well, Raquel sets one of the men on fire, and another one comes out with a chainsaw.
That's original.
And credits roll.
Yeah.
We don't see what happens to him. Well, then we got a bunch of stereotypical 70s young people who park in the desert in their van. The driver explains that this place is called Death, or at least that's the nickname because so many people go missing here. He says Texas Chainsaw Massacre was based on what actually happened right here. Ray says, no, that movie was based on Ed Gein, and not anything around here.
Well, they're probably both right.
They're probably both right in a way, yeah. Well, the group is here for a photo shoot for Roxy and Raquel, who hasn't arrived yet.
I don't think Raquel's going to be there.
And
we saw her.
She's going to have a problem. But elsewhere, Raquel wakes up. She ain't dead.
Oh.
And finds herself chained up in a barn. Daisy, a bald man in drag, comes in, and he's not sympathetic to her plight. He wants her to call him pretty. He's wearing the breasts that he removed from June.
Oh, my.
Ew. Well, she gets away, but is soon recaptured by Brutus, another masked man. She's returned to captivity, where she watches the now 3 masked men dismember what's left of June.
All right. How about we stop there?
Okay.
You know where this is going.
Yeah.
There aren't a lot of surprises here, really, but it's very well done.
Yeah. Of course, the group comes to town, too.
The
same
bad
town.
guys, and there are much mayhem.
Yeah. Hilarity ensues. Yeah.
It's a retro slasher film that borrows heavily from Texas Chainsaw, which even gets a call-out in the film itself. It's a killer family for no other reason than they like it.
Mm-hmm. This is what they do.
As isolated as they all are, why would they bother wearing masks?
Part of the fun and ritual of it.
Some of the masks are pretty cool.
They are cool,
but
yeah.
it seems unnecessary. But it's in the desert. It's got to be hot wearing those things.
It does have to be hot, yeah.
Anyway, like I said, the masks worn by the killers are really distinctive and well designed. The characters are all individuals, and you get to see their personalities before they're brutally killed off.
This made me nostalgic for my childhood. I was actually taken to see...
You live in the desert and killed people?
I was taken to see the Texas Chainsaw Massacre when it came out. I remember seeing that.
You were 6 or 7?
I was about 9 or so, somewhere around there.
Yeah, no wonder you're weird.
Yeah. My parents were movie fans and took me along.
Okay.
Yeah.
So both Scurry and Brute 76 have just come out recently. They're on streaming now. But if we're going to go back in time about 10 years, we could watch 2015's Lavalantula. Sounds like that's lava and tarantula put together, and that's exactly what it is.
Lava spiders? That'd be crazy.
Directed by Mike Mendez, written by Neil L. Ellman, Mike Mendez, and Ashley O'Neil. Stars Steve Guttenberg,
Steven Guttenberg,
Nia Peoples, and Patrick Renna. 1 hour and 24 minutes. Trailer. You have got to see this trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Whether the movie sounds good or not, you have got to see the trailer.
You really should, yeah.
That cover photo is something, too.
Uh-huh. The poster. Yeah, It's awesome.
Spoiler free.
Well, Steve Guttenberg does a fine job playing an actor. So,
well-known horror actor Steve Guttenberg.
He is thrown into a horrific situation with a great supporting cast. And despite horrific deaths and mass destruction, this kind of manages to be funny. There's a lot of humor.
Oh, it's a comedy, basically.
Yeah. A big budget was at work here, but not so much on the CGI. The CGI is really obvious, but it gets the job done. It tells the story. It's definitely a mix of serious and ludicrous, very entertaining in a dumb, fun kind of way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is my number 2 for the week.
Okay.
I like this more than I should have, probably.
Yeah.
Well, we watched some bad men beating up a former Special Forces CIA, FBI, super spy guy. They want him to talk, but he's not a super spy for nothing. No, wait, it turns out he's just an actor in a movie. He hates bugs, but this movie is about bugs, so that's going to be a problem. Colton West leaves the set, but he's a has-been actor who used to be in a bunch of bad action movies. Or you could say he's a has-been actor from used to be in a lot of old comedies. But that would be maybe a little too close on.
Uh-huh. He was in, he was in Police Academy.
He was.
Yeah.
All 9 of them or something.
And coincidentally...
So is everybody else in this movie.
Yeah, it's kind of an unofficial reunion for Police Academy.
Yeah, if you go through the cast list, like half the people that get any lines in this movie were from the Police Academy.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of them there.
Yeah, a lot of them.
On the drive home, he hears about earthquakes on the radio. He gets a call from his angry manager Arnie, and then his wife Olivia, who wants to know why he's so late. Suddenly, the mountain erupts in a ridiculous explosion of CGI fireballs. And also some giant spiders.
Giant lava spiders.
These giant tarantulas are covered in lava themselves.
I think they're actually made of lava.
Yeah. They shoot fireballs. They're more than just covered.
Yeah.
And Colton wastes no time getting away from the disaster. Both Arnie and Olivia feel the quaking, but they haven't seen the spiders. Colton gets home, and she thinks he's lost his mind. For some reason, she doesn't believe his story of fire-breathing giant spiders.
Well, it is a little bit hard to believe, yeah.
And he grabs his shotgun and leaves to go find his son Wyatt, who's way too old to be a teenager.
Yes, he is. That's all right.
Was he like 42 and playing a teenager?
Not that old, but yeah.
Olivia calls her friend Doris, whose little dog won't quit yapping at the door. When the dog finally does shut up, there's a good reason. He's been toasted. And she's next. These spiders like their meat cooked. Yeah. Well, you got the idea.
They're carnivorous and
lava
dangerous
spiders,
and carnivorous, that are taking over the city.
Well, there's an amazing number of cameos and special appearances by familiar faces, especially if you like the old Police Academy films. Steve Guttenberg is basically playing himself, a washed-up actor who now lends his face to cheap movie posters.
You said that out loud.
It's in the movie.
But you ain't wrong. Hey, at least he's working.
And turns out he is perfect for the role, and he does actually do really well here, taking it all very seriously, but not really.
Yeah, it's both serious and not serious.
Yeah. It's a cheaply made horror sci-fi comedy parody of creature features, basically in the same vein as Sharknado and other films. We have not done Sharknado.
We haven't done it.
We need to do Sharknado someday.
We do need to, yeah.
If you're into those, you'll probably like this. The special effects are like those cheap sci-fi channel movies from the early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of awful, but that's not why you're watching. It's goofy, campy, stupid, and very entertaining all in one.
Yeah, it is. It was super entertaining and way funnier than I expected.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is actually my number one of the week.
It's not like a Tucker and Dale kind of comedy where you're supposed to be laughing at every line. It's more like, this is so stupid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Speaking of stupid,
well,
2007's Diary of the Dead, written and directed by George A. Romero, stars Michelle Morgan, Joshua Close, and Sean Roberts, hour and 35 minutes, trailer in the usual place. Where will you be when the end begins? Well, we know where these people are.
These people were making a movie.
It contains a lot of found footage style as we follow. It's not entirely found footage, but there's some in there.
Yeah, there is.
As we follow some film folks that started out making a horror movie until the real horror hits. Then they start making a documentary. It's not bad, but it's not Romero's best work in the series. There wasn't enough new, and we both rate it as just okay.
Mm-hmm. I felt like everything that we saw in this we've seen before, except not in a good way.
Yeah.
Like we said that for Brute, too, but it seemed
Brute was
more
good,
fresh
though.
and entertaining.
Yeah.
And this just seems stale.
You can do the same old thing over and over and over, but you got to make it interesting.
Yeah, this wasn't so much.
No, and the next one, Survival of the Dead, was even worse.
Just okay, yeah.
Yeah, he was old. I think he'd been cash grabbing at this point.
Yeah.
They were not
Phoned
great.
it in, yeah.
The previous one, Land of the Dead, was not very good either.
Yeah.
You stick with the trilogy.
They're supposed to get better, not worse.
Day of, Dawn of, and Night of, Day of. Oh, God,
Dawn.
There's Dawn.
Dawn.
And then Day.
Right.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Stick with the original three. Even the three remakes are good.
Mm-hmm.
Was there a Day of the Dead remake?
I believe so. The Mall?
No.
No,
The
that's Dawn of
Army
the Dead.
camp.
Oh, I'm not sure there was.
I'm not sure there was
No.
either.
Okay, there might not have been.
We need to look for that.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe he wouldn't have remade it. But okay, yeah, these two movies suck. Okay, what happens in Diary?
Well, we open on police and ambulance at a crime scene. Bree is a reporter talking about the murder-suicide. And in the background, one of the corpses is still moving and attacking the paramedics. All the corpses suddenly get up, and the cops open fire. Bree is killed, and the cameraman uploads the footage to the internet. And we get further news reports of the zombie apocalypse now in progress. Jason Creed made a film, The Death of Death, compiled of found footage from the incident, and this is that film.
So this Jason Creed guy, apparently he has edited this Death of Death thing after the zombie apocalypse happened,
Uh-huh.
of clips and news things and stuff that happened during the first days.
Yeah.
So, all right.
The early days of it, yeah. Well, we open on a film crew making a very lame-looking mummy movie. It's Jason's senior project for film school. And they all hear about something weird on the news. Tony is skeptical of the news, since he thinks it's all made up anyway. They all decide to pack up and leave, just in case, just for safety. And Jason goes to the dorms, finds them not only wrecked, but there's a looter clearing out stuff. He loads the friends that he can find into an RV, and they all set out to try to find a safe place. There's Mary, Deborah, Tony, Elliot, Gordo, Tracy, and Professor Maxwell, who are all trying to make their way home.
I bet they don't all make it.
No, that's too many people. There's too many red shirts there. Well, the group comes upon a car crash in the road, and there's a dead man wandering around. And they run over a few of the dead people as they pass, which makes everyone stop joking about it, and they realize it's serious, and it's real. Mary, who was driving, gets out of the car and shoots herself in guilt.
Oops.
The group rushes her to the hospital, but the place is oddly deserted. She doesn't shoot herself
die
fatally.
immediately.
Yeah. An undead doctor shows up at the hospital, and Gordo has to shoot him. Jason stays behind to recharge his camera as the others spread out to find help. Deborah comes back and tells Jason about her encounter with a zombie in the next room. And as the group reconvenes, Mary dies for real and starts to change, starts to come back. On the way out, Gordo gets bitten on the arm. By morning, he's dead. And then he's undead. And then he gets shot by Tracy.
All right, and you know where this is going. It's a zombie movie.
So they're traveling across in an RV, and they encounter other people. And
should have called it Road Trip of the Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's mostly found footage, more or less, edited into a finished project. It somewhat hits on social media, cameras being in everyone's hands, fake news, and everyone having an opinion online. Romero's got to put his social commentary in somewhere. There's a lot of it here.
Mm-hmm.
I would say mostly social media and cameras being everywhere.
Yeah.
Do the big things.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Found footage was all the rage in 2007, so it makes sense that Romero would try it, but it's not innovative anymore, and I think it kind of detracts from the story. They could have just done a more straightforward thing.
Yeah, I thought the filming of the stuff, the movie within the movie, was kind of interesting, but the rest of it, just didn't have enough new or interesting going for it.
Yeah, it's very meh.
Yeah, it's solidly made, but middling.
2010's Survival of the Dead. Let's wrap this thing up, huh?
And this one just made me sad by the end.
This is the best they could do.
This is my least favorite of the series,
Yes.
and it's the last one. There won't be any more. I mean, there could be more remakes, but
No more Romeros.
no more Romeros.
Written and directed by George A. Romero, stars Alan Van Sprang, Kenneth Welsh, and Kathleen Monroe. Hour and 30 minutes. Trailer in the show notes. And if you go way back to like episode 2 or 3, we watched this back then, and our reviews are much, much shorter. Were much shorter than they are now. I think we kind of liked it before we had a little more experience.
And now we're old and jaded.
Bottom of the barrel.
So spoiler free, it's an action zombie flick with military action that is set on an island off the coast of Delaware, that's Delaware, United States, that is populated by Irish people and cowboys for some reason. They're not in the West, nowhere near Ireland, yet here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, and while this isn't actively bad, we were both disappointed by it. Okay, you're going to go and say bad, but it lacked Romero's usual touches and relies too much on CGI for the effects and not practical effects.
On a scale of 1 to 5, I give this like a 2 stars. It's not the worst thing we've ever seen, but it's on the bad side.
It's a weak finish to the Dead movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sarge narrates how the zombie apocalypse simply overwhelmed the living. Yep, we've seen that.
Yeah.
The soldiers argue over killing one of their own who has been bitten. Yep, we've seen that. We get a flashback to when Sarge and his AWOL soldiers robbed a bunch of filmmakers in an RV. Oh, that was a previous movie. We've seen that.
The previous movie, yeah.
And credits roll.
But I thought that was a nice touch.
A little crossover there,
Because the first one we saw it from the RV people's point of view.
And I looked to see if they were filmed simultaneously, and they were not.
Okay.
It really was just old footage.
Okay.
We then cut to Plum Island off the coast of Delaware, 6 days after the dead began to walk. Patrick O'Flynn and his friends went around the island and killed all the zombies. They go to see Matthew, whose children were injured a few days ago. The men end up shooting the children's mother and both children. Suddenly, Seamus Muldoon comes in and makes O'Flynn stop. He thinks somebody's going to find a cure for this disease, so he wants to round up the zombies and protect them.
So he never does actually shoot the zombie children here.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, shoots the zombie mom, but they stop him before he can shoot the zombie
Actually, the
kids.
mom wasn't a zombie. She's just being protective.
Yeah, it makes you wonder. Yeah.
O'Flynn and his gang then back down and leave. O'Flynn is exiled in a tiny little boat, but his friend James and daughter Janet opt to stay behind and work with Muldoon. So we have a differing opinion on how to deal with zombies. Do you kill them or do you save them somewhere so they can be cured eventually?
Can be cured someday, yeah.
3 weeks later, Sarge and his crew investigate sounds in the woods. They run into some hunters who have a whole bunch of living heads on sticks. Yeah, you behead a zombie, the head stays alive.
The head stays alive unless you destroy the brain, yeah.
They kill the zombie heads and the hunters and pick up one young guy who goes with them. The kid suggests finding an island where there aren't any zombies. You know, like they did in Day of the Dead.
Mm-hmm.
He shows them a video made by O'Flynn and is a sort of recruiting video for Plum Island. Apparently in the zombie apocalypse, YouTube still works.
A good thing.
We cut to the docks where a hapless fisherman catches something too big to reel in. The soldier group arrives. Francisco ends up swimming to the ferry as the others fight the Irishmen. The Irishmen lose badly as only O'Flynn escapes alive and makes it to the ferry with the soldiers. The group sets to work on clearing the ferry of zombies, and they set sail for Plum Island. What could happen there?
Hilarity.
I kind of still wonder, even though I've seen this movie at least twice now, why this island in Delaware is populated by Irishmen with thick accents and cowboy wannabes.
That is puzzling.
Cowboys versus Irishmen, the movie. Why?
Why? Because he could. Yeah.
It's a Romero movie, so I was expecting some social commentary of some sort. If it was here, I missed it this time. It's basically just a generic zombie action movie. Definitely the weakest of the series.
And CGI effects are not an improvement over the practical effects.
The other movies were practical zombies and practical, blood squirts and stuff, and this one had CGI, and
too much CGI. It had some practical, but but heavily CGI.
The zombie makeup was all real and stuff, but the heads exploding and things were not.
Mostly CGI. Yeah.
All right. Well, next week we have got, I think, five, count them, 5 brand new movies.
Nice.
Must be October.
Must be. Yeah. It's Halloween season. They're pumping them out.
And of course, the new issue of Horror Monthly will be out early this week. This is Sunday as we record this. It should be out probably Tuesday.
Okay.
And that'll be issue number 49.
Neato.
Yeah. Until the next week, who are you?
I'm Kevin.
I'm Brian.
We'll see you
next week.
Yeah.